The Life Changer, Chapter 5. By 8 o'clock in the evening the next day, Tomiwa's phone rang. She jumped at the first ring as if she was not expecting it. The truth was that she had been waiting for that call all through the day. She had never been on a blind date before, and she never knew how she was expected to behave. The whole thing sounded crazy, but she was curious. In spite of her apparent social exposure and the confidence which was born out of her desire to become a celebrity, Tomiwa was emotionally empty. She was beautiful, no doubt about it. Indeed, she could beat Salma in a contest except that she was dark, where Salma was fair. Otherwise, they were slim, busty, and definitely attractive. So how was it that no boy ever attempted to go out with Tomiwa? The answer could be summed up in one word: overconfidence. She exuded such charismatic hair around her that people, both males and females alike, rated her far above her station. Which station nobody knew. Consequently, all of them felt intimidated in her presence. And she was an expensive dresser. It was not that the materials she sewed were out of this world. It was the style that was definitely out of this world. Her phone rang again for the second time. "Hello," she said, turning on the speaker so that her roommates, all the three of them, could hear what was being said. "Is this Tomiwa?" "Yes." "Who is speaking, please?" She looked up at her roommate and they gave her the thumbs up sign, indicating that she was doing well. "My name is Abib. We gave you a ride yesterday from Jalli." Tomiwa paused, unsure whether to go ahead with the lie or to tell the truth and forget the whole thing. "Hello," the voice at the other end was hesitant. "Are you still there?" "Yes, I am." "Can you come out, please?" "Okay, where are you?" "We are parked where we dropped you yesterday." Uh, yes, okay, I'll be with you." There was silence at the other end. "Go, my friend. They won't eat you. If I know men, they may not even know the difference between you and me." Salma was very confident. Tomiwa, on the other end, was hesitant. Indeed, she was started developing cold feet about the whole thing. What if they turned out to be some kidnappers or cultists? Who would come to her rescue if she entered a car with total strangers who formed the habit of visiting girls in the hostel only when it was night time? These thoughts were passing through her mind even as she picked her handbag and casually walked out of the room to meet her unknown visitors. She saw the black Mercedes Benz parked directly in front of the hostel. The passenger side was empty, so she went and entered the car without prompting. It was strange. There were supposed to be two people in the car. "Where is your friend?" "Oh, my beauty, I am here," Labaran said from the back seat. "I made space for you in the front so you can sit near your heartthrob." Far from being reassuring, this unexpected utterance and seating arrangement made Tomiwa even more uncomfortable. She had read so many thriller stories, particularly Maria Puzo's Godfather, and she knew how enemies were easily garroted when they were made to sit in the passenger side, while unbeknownst to them, their killers were seated directly behind them in the car. She did not let her fear show. Instead, she just opened the front seat, stepped out of the car, and asked Labrador to come to the front seat. Meekly, he obeyed. As she entered the back seat, Abib took a long look at her and seemed to be convinced that there was something wrong about the lady who just entered their car. She was more resolute and a trifle more confident than the girl of the previous night, but he told himself he would wait and see. There was a game plan somewhere, and he did not want to spoil it. Shall we move from here? It is rather too open. Where are we going? To restaurant. I'm not hungry. Tomiwa was really ill disposed with the whole setup. She felt the stab of Abib's long stare as she entered the car, and she knew the man was not dumb even before he said anything. Let's go to Frizzler's then. Abib said this as he maneuvered the car to face where it came from so they could drive quietly to the fast food restaurant, which was surrounded by many grocery shops within the school. He parked the car near the shop of a man who proclaimed his shop as the faculty of suya. This meant that his shop was the best place where steaks are made and sold. As they packed, Abib asked Labaran to go out and get them fried rice, chicken, milk, tea, beverages, sugar, and any other thing that he considered important to a boarding student. Yes, Honorable. He went out of the car without collecting money from Habib. This Tomiwa noted as strange, but she also knew instantly that authority had been established. She knew now who was the boss. Salma was wrong. Labaran may own the car, but he most certainly was not the one calling the shots. Habib was, and he appeared very perceptive. Tomiwa instinctively knew that Habib was not the kind of person you trifled with. You are not Tomiwa. Habib said this categorically when Labaran was out of earshot. For some reason, the statement made Tomiwa angry. Look here, Mr. Honorable. I do not care who you think you are, but you cannot just wake up this evening and declare my name fake. That is very insulting. If you had said, "Hey, you're not the girl I picked yesterday," I would gladly say, "Yes, I was not," since you are an expert at picking girls by the roadside. My name is Tomiwa, and I am not the girl you gave ride to yesterday. She added this last to soften the venom she knew our words must have caused. I'm sorry, my dear. I didn't mean to sound like that. And believe me, picking girls is not my habit. As you can see, it was Labaran's idea. He is my driver. I do not have any issue with you or your driver. I would not insult you for anything if you do not look down on me. I said I'm sorry. Okay, just so long as we understand each other. I think I like you already. She didn't say anything to this. So, tell me what happened. Nothing happened. My friend didn't feel like giving you her number, so she gave you mine instead. I was supposed to reject your call or tell you wrong number, but my curiosity got the better part of me. I decided to come and see who it was that had my number. And and here we are. I just declared that I liked you. I heard you. And what are you saying to that? Nothing. Why? Because I do not go about declaring likeness or otherwise to people whose faces I can hardly recognize in the daytime. Fine. That means you want to see me tomorrow in the afternoon. Yes. Is that why you told my driver to come to the front seat? No. I just did not want to take chances. What if he sprang on me and strangled me from behind? You have a very wild imagination. Thank you. There was another long silence. If we have nothing left to say to each other, I guess I should be going in, Tomiwa said. You didn't even ask me who I am. Your friend, or is it your driver, has said who you are. Indeed, I'm not sure if I like politicians. Tomiwa was in her element. She never gave a thought to what she was saying. If it went down well with the listeners, fine. If it did not, also fine. Why don't you like politicians? Abib asked. They are like a spindle. Nobody knows the direction they are facing. They lie a lot. A lot of misguided people think the politicians are the solutions to our problems. Are they not? On the contrary, they are the problem. And on a personal level, I do not judge a person based on his affiliations. You don't. No. I get to know who you are and judge you as such. So there is hope for me after all. Hope for what? For becoming your friend. I wouldn't be sitting in your car if there wasn't. Abib was so elated, he laughed out loud. How many of you are in the room? Four. Why? You take this. He handed over to her a bundle of 500 naira bills. She collected the money slowly and placed it on her laps. Put it in your bag. I do not want Labaran to see it. He won't. 10,000 for each of your roommates and 20,000 for you. Thank you. We really appreciate this gesture. Just then, Abib's phone rang. Yes, Labra. I'm done with the purchases. Then bring them over. Okay, Honorable. Labaran came with so much provisions and beverages that Tamiwa thought they would buy things for their children in the boarding school. But no, Abib said it was for her and the roommates. Tamiwa was gratitude personified. She thanked Abib previously and did not know when she started calling him a large. Abib too was very happy. He drove out to the entrance and promised to call her regularly. As soon as Tamiwa entered the room, they started shouting and ululating. The shout turned into a scream of joy when they saw what she brought. It was Ngozi who had the presence of mind to stand up and lock the door. This simple act is one of the most valued rituals of students who cook in the hostel. It effectively blocks out all those professional angers who go about with spoon in their purses looking for the pot that had just been brought down from the stove. Before you start eating, you lock the door, and if it was night, you switched off the light. If they knocked, you ignore. When Ngozi came back from the door, they opened the bags and saw what was almost beyond belief. Even if they had come to the school with nothing, what the Alaji had bought for them would have lasted them through another semester. They jumped some more and were embracing Tomira and thanking her. When excitement died down, Salmo said, You guys should be thanking me. It was I who brought this matter here, you know. But if we had followed your counsel, we would all be without this. It is Tomira we should thank. It is a boyfriend who supplied all this. Somehow, Salma was not happy with the turn of events. Stop disgracing yourselves like these, my friends. Is it suya that you've not eaten, or chicken or beverages? Or this? Tommy said dramatically as she dropped a bundle of 50,000 naira before them. They were all stunned. For one brief moment, there was total silence in the room. Tomiwa savored the moment and used it to divide the money the way she was instructed. 10,000 naira for each occupant, and she held on to the remaining 20,000. This was all too much for Salma. In the silence that followed, she was heard to have whispered, It is not fair. It is not fair. Finders, keepers. It was me they gave right to. Tamiwa, you're not a good friend at all. I just showed you a guy and you went ahead to make him your boyfriend. You behave like a chameleon and can therefore adapt to any situation to meet your personal desires. This is not a fair comment, Sama, Ngozi said. You shut up there, moneymonger. All this wonder you are standing for Tomiwa. Is it not for the money she brought? We have been in this room for how long now? Yet we have never seen you display so much love and camaraderie towards Tamiwa as you are doing this evening. If not the money, what else is accounting for this sudden friendliness? You do not even have shame, all of you. Sama, you do not have to be this aggressive, you know. Ada tried to be conciliatory. You two, shut up. How are you different from them all? It is not about being different. It is about being rational. All this while, Ngozi had been fuming silently. She knew what Salma said was unreasonable. Was there any man on earth who did not like money? Ada allowed Salma to finish disgracing herself and displaying her foolishness. Who else but a daft person would see money by the wayside and instead of picking it, it would show someone else the money to pick. Yet, when the person picks the money, you would start reading abuses on the person. Who else? Ngozi East. Ada was suddenly concerned. Please, let this matter not degenerate into something else. We've been living in peace all this while. I do not see why the sentiments should be raising their heads in our midst. I thought the essence of education was for us to live as one and seek out what unites us rather than what separates us. Salma was even like someone who was about to have asthmatic seizure. She could not say anything. She just stood there, glaring at one roommate after another. Suddenly, there came a knock on the door. All those speaking kept quiet. There was complete silence in the room. They did not say anything, neither did they move. The person outside knocked some more. The roommates refused to budge. They looked alarmingly at each other, as if chiding themselves that because of their attitude, another party was coming to partake in the harvest of the farm produce they never lifted their hands in farming. When they heard the footsteps of the knocker receding, they sat down quietly around the roasted meat and chicken Tomiwa came in with. At a signal from Sama, Ada went and switched off the lights in the room. Thereafter, they used light from the inbuilt torch on their phones to see what they were eating. It was strange to see this total cooperation among the people who a few seconds before were at each other's throat. The herd instinct was indeed real. A situation which no entreaty could settle was suddenly resolved by a single knock on the door. They ate silently and for a long time. They discovered that they could not finish the meat on the chicken, so Ada was instructed to keep what was left in the fridge so they could use it the next day while cooking their meals. When the room was cleared, Ngaza switched on the lights after unlocking the door. She told the other girls that there was no point for them to harbor any ill feelings over what had transpired. If truth be told, didn't they all enjoy themselves as a result of the recklessness of some silly old men who could not resist dropping their paws at the sight of a bra? That is our little way to show gratitude to people who just fed us without asking for anything in return, Tomiwa said this light-heartedly. Ngozi, however, read something serious underlining the statement. My sister, just mark my words. No man spends this much on you without asking for something in return. Just wait and see. Men are not stupid. You know, sooner or later, they would ask for their pound of flesh. This was just the first day and see what he spent. That was precisely Tomiwa's thought. It was just the first day and see how much she gained. If this went on, she had nothing to say to Sama but gratitude. Let Ngozi talk about a pound of flesh. I would give them 50 pounds of flesh if they asked. How much were they getting from Ngozi's stupid campus boyfriends? They gave nothing and yet they kept asking for pounds of flesh. Make I hear what? Jerry, as these thoughts were passing through Tomiwa's mind, she did not hear what the other girls were saying for a while. Then Salma asked a very strange question. When did they say they are coming again? Who? Labra and Habib, Salma said, looking very serious. Are you kidding me, Salma? What the hell comes over you? You won't understand. Are they not too? The others burst out laughing. It was indeed amusing what Salma was attempting to do. It appeared desperate, but under the circumstances, who would blame her? Just one evening outing and you come out with over 10,000 naira. It would require a highly disciplined heart not given to such temptations. And Salma's heart was anything but disciplined. What, however, she would not take was to be forced to do anything she did not want to do. In consequence, she resolved to go out with Labra, who, to her dismay, really turned out to be Abib's driver. The strange thing about the Honorable and his driver was that they grew up together, and while Abib went to read up to university level, Labra went to a driving school. And sometimes, with his meager earnings as local government driver, he doled out a little from his money to his friend. So when Abib became a politician and was elected into the State House of Assembly, he called upon his childhood friend to be his driver, paid of course by the House. What was interesting, however, was that along this incongruous journey of life, the friendship never suffered any setback, and that was how they met Salma that fateful evening. Anyhow, that was how it went. The problems created by Tomiwa's visitors were soon forgotten by our sisterly roommate, and life went on as usual. Indeed, those problems turned out to be a blessing in disguise. The roommates became more united than they were before. School routine resumed in earnest, and soon the session was over. Before they knew it, they were in their final year. The last exams timetable was out. Our four roommates held the record for being the only people who began as roommates and ended as roommates through to their last semester in the school. What was even more remarkable was that, though they were reading different courses, they were all performing very well. They were all B students and were certain to graduate with a second class upper degree in their various disciplines. They were the envy of almost every girl in the school. They never allowed their relationships with men to interfere with their academic performance. They were so fixated with graduating with a very good degree that this or nothing would stand between them and the actualization of their dream. So it was that when exams came, they read like their lives depended on it. This went unsuccessfully. Most of the papers were almost a walkover, and even though they were studying different disciplines, they were sure of making excellent grades. In any case, with the semester system, the students virtually knew what class of degree they were likely going to graduate with from their cumulative grade point average, CGPA. The genuine apprehension and excitement came when you were writing the last paper. Incidentally, the last paper this year was moral philosophy, which all of them were required to sit for because it was a general studies paper. I paused in my story when I noticed Bent whispering into Omar's ear. He laughed silently and whispered back. I looked at him, my face questioning. He stifled a laugh and said, Bint was telling him she did not see how Salmo's relationship with men or a roommate contributed to her leaving the school. I smiled and said, My daughter, just be patient. We are almost coming there. And that is why I want you to pay attention. Jamila, my zobo is finished. Get me some more. And that's the end of chapter 5 of the Life Changer JAMB novel 2024. Thank you for listening.